Красное сердце. Love on the late train. Part 1. The first encounter. За 7 часов 53 минуты вечера train to the suburbs was nearly empty most nights. Office workers had already rose home hours before, and the cheetahs Latinic wonders preferred Texas or bosses. But for Julia Towers, this train was a daily ritual, a pocket of time between her demanding marketing job downtown and the quiet apartment she shared with her cat, Matcha. Julia loved the home of the train, the way the city lights flickered past her window, the sense of temporary escape. It was on a rainy Tuesday in November that she first noticed him, a man reading a cigarette paperback to Roserhead. He was alone, his black hair slightly twirled, a navy scar dripped carelessly over a dark coat, which is a swear intense, flicking across the pages as though they might disappear at any moment. Julie wondered what kind of story he was so lost in, a mystery, a classic, or something romantic. The train jolted, and his eyes lifted, meeting hers briefly. They both looked really embarrassed. But the next night, he was there again. Same train, same seat. She sat closely, one row behind. She watched as he read, shifting occasionally to stretch his long legs, which as prisons. She realized he'd given her evening commute a spark he had never had before. Part 2. The silent bond. Over the next week, their silent routine continued. Julia found herself choosing her outfits more carefully in the morning, hoping he might notice. She even started reading a book of her own, a collection of essays by her favorite author, so she could look as engrossed as he did. One Thursday, the train stopped between stations. An announcement crackled overhead. A signal failure. Passenger side. Julius drifted to the man's reflection in the window. He looked frustrated, drumming his fingers on Ida's book. She decided to break the silence. "Looks like you're stuck," she said softly. He turned, surprised but smiling. His eyes were warm brown, his smile a little crooked. "Yeah," he said. "I think he finished this book before we even get to a Akretsto." Julia laughed. The sound is the tension of the stop train. They introduced themselves. His name was Liam Patel, a civil engineer who worked late supervising infrastructure projects. He told her he'd only started taking this train a month ago when he moved to a new apartment. They talked about their jobs, favorite books, the best he covered in the city. The train's jelly, which could have been an annoyance, became the perfect backdrop for a conversation neither wanted to end. Part 3. A growing friendship. From that night on, Julia and Liam began sitting together. Their conversations felt easy, natural. Some nights they debated the merits of Yubak's vs. print. Other nights they shared stories from their childhoods. Julia growing up in a busy Puerto Rican family. Liam raised by his grandparents after moving to the city from India. They discovered their mutual love for jazz music, for old movies, for the quiet moments when the train would emerge from underground and the skyline would light up before them. Julia found herself waiting for 7 часов 53 минуты вечера every day with an eagerness she unfelt in years. Work stress faded the moment she stepped onto the train and saw Leah's smile. Part 4. Small gestures. One night, Julia boarded the train feeling exhausted. A project deadline had kept her in meetings all day. She slumped into the usual seat. Rummaging in his back, Liam pulled out a chocolate bar. "I had a feeling you might need this today," he said. Her eyes widened. "How did you know?" He shrugged. "Your texts are undeterred." I think he started with exchanging numbers to coordinate when one of them was running late, but soon their messages filled the day. "Good luck with your presentation. Hope your meeting goes well. That's for lunch." Each note built a deeper connection. Earned evening, Julia noticed Liam shivering as the trains hit a struggle against the winter chill. She hesitated, then scooted closer so their shoulders touched, having silent warmth. He smiled gratefully, which is a soft. Part 5. The missed train. In January, Ace настал blanketed the city. Julia's boss led everyone live early, but traffic was chaos. She reached the station just as the doors of the 7 часов 53 минуты вечера train slid closed, separating her from Leah's waiting figure inside. She knocked on the window, and he pressed with his hand against the glass. They shared a helpless look as the train rolled through. Julie caught the next train, but every minute felt like an hour. She worried the think she stood him up. When she finally arrived at the station, she was stunned to see him waiting on the platform in the swirling snow. His breath misting the air. "You didn't have to wait," she said. "Horror is bright." "I know," he replied. "But I wanted to talk." That night, they walked home together, feet crunching through fresh snow, hands brushing but not yet daring to intertwine. Part chest, a confession. February brought Valentina's Day. Neither has spoken about their feelings, but both sent the shift. Lingering looks, longer goodbyes, the small silences where words failed but meaning grew. On February 14th, Julia found a book on her train seat, the same novel Liam had been reading the night they met. Inside was a note, to new stories and shared journeys. Liam took. She turned, heart racing. He was standing in the train doorway, flowers in hand. BJ's voice was quiet but steady. "Julia, I know we've only known each other for a few months, but you will become the best part of my date." Julia stepped closer, snow melting in her hair. "You're the best part of mine too." Their kiss was tentative at first, then deepened. The train a silent witness to the start of something real. Part same, the everyday romance. As spring arrived there, the city thawed, and so did their shiners. They began spending weekends together, exploring museums, trying new restaurants, even taking day trips. The train still held a special place in their hearts. It was where their story began. Some nights they'd miss the train on purpose just to grab dinner during town first. Other nights, they'd ride together in comfortable silence, Julia's head resting on Leah's shoulder. One evening, as the train carried around a bend and city lights sparkled on the river, Liam took Julia's hand. "I know this might sound fast, but would you like to move in with me?" Julia's breath caught. She looked into this, a sense of only sincerity, warmth, and the left hand quietly nurtured between train rides. "Yes," she whispered, a smile blooming. Part 8. A promise on the tracks. 6 months later, they stood on the same platform where it had first spoken. The same часов 53 минуты вечера train roared in the distance. Liam pulled out a small velvet box. "This train brought us together," he said swiftly. "I can't imagine my life without you. Julia Torres, will you marry me?" Tears filled her eyes as she nodded, laughter bubbling in her chest. The train's doors opened, and they stepped inside, hand in hand, passengers in love on the late train.